everyone, this is Mamta Sharma. This is my second lecture on financial management. In this lecture, we will discuss about scope of financial management. Under the scope of financial management, the first point is estimation of financial requirement. Financial requirement varies from business to business depending on its size, nature, operating cycle, production cycle, and other factors. The first most important decision to start up a business is to make a proper estimation of the financial requirements. Now, the financial requirements are broadly categorized into two: short-term financial requirement and long-term financial requirement. Under short-term financial requirement, it is required to plan the need of finance for day-to-day activities such as payment of salaries, wages, payment to the suppliers, purchase of raw material, etc. Under long-term financial requirement, it is required make a plan of the financial requirement for investment purpose such as acquisition of plant and machinery, land, building, etc. In line to this, the main or important function of the finance manager is to prepare a financial plan for present as well as for future. The second point is deciding capital structure. Capital structure is a mixture of debt and equity. There are two sources of capital. The one is debt and the second is equity. Equity forms is a part of own funds, whereas debt is a part of borrowed funds. Now a company has to decide how much would be the proportion of debt and how much would be the proportion of equity. In order to decide this, the advantages and disadvantages of both the sources of capital should be taken into consideration. There is difference between debt and equity. Equity holders are the real owners of the company, whereas debt holders are the creditors of the company. Dividend is paid to the equity holders, whereas interest is paid to the debt holders. Dividend is paid to the equity holders only in a situation when there is a surplus with the company. But payment of interest is an obligation either company is earning profit or sustaining loss. Equity shareholders has right to interfere and participate in all the decisions of the company, whereas debt holders has no such right or have no right to take any participation in any decision of the company. Debt holders creates a fixed liability on the business, whereas equity shareholders does not create any such liability on the business. The third point is selecting a source of finance. Sources of finance are broadly categorized into two: short-term source of finance and long-term source of finance. Short-term source of finance is used for running day-to-day activities of a concern. It is the part of working capital. Short-term source of finance is used for incurring revenue expenditure, whereas long-term source of finance is used for investment purpose. It is a part of fixed capital. Long-term source of finance is used for capital expenditure. Here we have examples of short-term source of finance and long-term source of finance. Short-term source of finance includes cash in hand, cash at bank, bills receivable, marketable securities, advance payments, factoring, bank overdraft, short-term loans, etc. Long-term source of finance includes shares, debentures, public deposits, bonds, venture capital, long-term loans, etc. The next point is selecting a pattern of investment. After selecting and finalizing the source of finance, next important step is selecting the pattern of investment. Here the business need to decide how much to invest in current assets and how much to invest in fixed assets. Thereafter, it is a very important question that arises that what source of finance should be used to invest in current assets and which source of finance should be used for investment in fixed assets. Answers to this question is always prefer long-term source of finance to invest in fixed assets, whereas short-term source of finance should be used to invest in current assets. Here we have an example that which source of finance should be used to invest in which assets. So, short-term source of finance such as bank overdraft should be used to invest in current assets such as purchase of raw material, whereas long-term source of finance such as shares and debentures should be used to invest in fixed assets such as purchase of plant and machinery. The next step is proper cash management. Cash means liquid availability of money that is ready to use. It considers both cash in hand and cash at bank. Cash management ensures adequate liquidity, means sufficient availability of money as and when required. Cash management is concerned with efficient and effective utilization of available liquid financial resources. It is concerned with cash flow of a company, that is cash inflow and cash outflow. Cash should be managed in such a way so that it results in more cash inflow than cash outflow. Here we have two situations. In situation 1, cash inflow is more than cash outflow. This is a favorable and profitable situation for a company. In situation 2, cash outflow is more than cash inflow. This is an unfavorable situation that generates negative results for a company. The next point is implementing financial control. What financial plan is prepared, how successfully it is implemented and executed, it needs to be evaluated properly. Then only a business or management get a proper feedback about the financial activities and success of the concern. Controlling involves looking back. It can be done by comparing the actual results with the desired one. Here the desired one means the pre-established standards. In a situation when actual results are more than the pre-established standards, it represents the efficiency of management. But in a situation when actual results are comparatively lower than the fixed standards, it shows inefficiency on the part of management. The success of financial decision depends on the efficiency and effectiveness of financial manager, means how well he or she planned and how successfully this plan had been executed, and for all this purpose it is necessary to have a financial control. The last step is proper use of surplus. Here we are talking about the profits generated by the business concern. After generating the profit or surplus, the next step is distribution or allocation of this profit or surplus. Now, out of the net profit generated, the first payment is need to be made to the debenture holders in the form of interest payment. Then after, the next payment to the government in the form of corporate tax. Then the payment is made to the preference shareholders in the form of dividend. At the end, whatever the surplus remains left, it is the right of the equity shareholders. When the company remains left with the surplus as a part of profit after making all the payments and obligations, then the management has to decide with the consent of the equity shareholders either to declare the dividend, means to distribute the profit or surplus to the equity shareholders, or to retain the surplus in the business. Here we have two options. Option 1, dividend declaration. Option 2, retained earning. Option 1 will be preferred in a situation when there is no profitable opportunity to invest in the market. That's why the management decide to declare the dividend to the equity shareholders. Whereas option 2 will be preferable in a situation when there is a profitable opportunity to invest in the market that will help or assist in maximizing the wealth of equity shareholders. With this, we are done with the scope of financial management. At the end, I will give you a question for your self-evaluation. The question is, sources of finance can be categorized into how many parts, and which source of finance is suitable for capital expenditure, means for long-term investment. Thank you.